Misery for Manchester United is being reported this afternoon, as stories today suggest that Raphael Varane, a leading Manchester United target, wants to play for Paris Saint-Germain and has informed his representatives that that is his desired destination, not Manchester United. That report also comes at the same time as Real Madrid being announced as the new favourites to sign Sevilla defender Jules Koundé. Both Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea have been hot on the pursuit of the young 22-year-old who has impressed in La Liga in recent times. And finally tonight on The Terrace, we are going to be debating and tiering London's biggest clubs. Stay with us, hit that like and share button. Here we go. Good afternoon. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having wonderful bank holiday Mondays. I'm sure you are if you're a Chelsea fan. Maybe not a gal today. He was made to paint his face blue. Big up Jem and that over on Jem's channel. Go and check out Jem's channel, GNA TV. Really good content they make over there. It really is. Both him, ads. I think Indiana's still involved. I have to be honest. I get confused, but it's a really good channel. Go check it out. Hope you're all doing well. We're here to talk some transfers. We're also going to be debating London's biggest clubs later on in the show. So stay with The Terrace. Some of the crew are going to join us. We are going to be taking calls a little bit later on as well. But big news today, as we mentioned, according to reports coming out of Spain, Raphael Varane has informed his representatives that he would prefer to play for Paris Saint-Germain prepare to play for Paris Saint-Germain as opposed to playing for Manchester United or Chelsea. This comes as a big piece of bad news for Man United. Chelsea, of course, are pursuing new centre-backs, but they're champions of Europe. They look solid at the back. They've got top-class players there already. For Manchester United, this was a signing they were desperate for. It's a signing Man United were desperate for because the other targets are a hell of a lot more money. You're talking 50, 60, 70 millions plus, and Man United have been quite open in stating they don't have those kinds of funds. Now, Raphael Varane was seen as a brilliant player, but for cheap. A cheap option, but a brilliant option at circa £40 million. And the report today coming out of Spain has suggested that Raphael Varane is going to pick Paris Saint-Germain over Manchester United. He knows that we're keen. We've had conversations with his representatives, but it doesn't seem to have made much of a difference. However, there is a contrary report today that doesn't say United are going to get him, but it states that Man United will go back and make one final pursuit, one final attempt to try and sign Raphael Varane before turning their attentions to different targets. They want to try and they will be making this approach in the coming weeks in the lead up to Euro 2020. And it's only time's going to tell what is going to happen. But Man United are desperate for reinforcements at the back. Most believe that Tuanzebe will never be good enough. We all know that Bailly could be if he could stay fit. Maguire isn't enough by himself, and Victor Lindelof simply isn't good enough to move Manchester United forward. It's as simple and it's as straightforward as that. So this news in itself is gutting, to say the least. On top of that, Real Madrid have now been leaked and spoken of as the favourites to sign Sevilla defender Jules Koundé this summer. We know Chelsea made inroads a few months ago, but turned their attentions to Raphael Varane. Liverpool have also been scouting and talking to the representatives of the 22-year-old, but have made no approach. Man United saw him for many, many months as the number one target, but they kind of scoffed at the price. 70, 80 million pounds is the quoted price for the young centre-back, and Man United stepped back and they stepped away. It now appears that Real Madrid are going to be making a move for him, meaning that Manchester United could be missing out on their first and their second centre-back target in the space of a couple of weeks. And where does that leave the club? Are we as fans really happy with us going after our third and fourth choices? Are our third and fourth choices going to be any good? Smells like Ben White might be on his way to Manchester United, in my view. But I want your opinions. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're thinking about as well. A comment here from Dean says that you are pretty thick if you think this was anything other than using us for contract talks. And maybe that's the case. And if you're a Man United fan, you believed he was coming, then maybe Dean B is right. I'm more concerned about the fact that my club had been pursuing this deal. I'm more concerned with the fact that Manchester United thought they could get this deal done. That's the the issue here for me. That's the issue here for me as a Manchester United fan is where's the due diligence if this is the case? Where is the due diligence if Dean is right with his comment here? That would be my major concern. James here is a Liverpool fan, says Nat Phillips is available. I hear you there, but there we go. Maybe we can go for him. According to Sonny, he should be in the England squad at least. I've seen a lot of people. Here's a KDB is washed. Where is that coming from, ladies and gentlemen? Where is that coming from? Igao is blue. Igao will be here a little bit later to chat with us. So I'm looking forward to that. Because as I say, we are debating tonight and tiering London's biggest clubs. I'm very excited about that. Legitimately, I'm excited about that. I'm really looking forward to doing it. I'm really looking forward to cracking on with that, as it were. But we'll see. We'll see what that looks like a little bit later on in the show. Let's do some more of your comments here. So why would he reject us? You're asking me to answer something I don't know. All I can do is surmise and guess. Think about leaving a club that you won league titles at, you won 4 Champions Leagues at. Is Man United really it? First and foremost. The second element isn't a knock at Man United. He's French. Maybe in the latter stages of his career, he would like to play where he, play in the country that he's from. I don't necessarily think that's a disrespectful way of looking at it, and I mean that. I'm saying that with genuine, sort of respect intended there. I think that's what it comes down to for me. When I look at it, I just think, yeah, he's just he's wants to go home to France. That's kind of it. But it doesn't make it any better for Manchester United. That's the point here. It's frustrating for Manchester United. Let's do some more of these comments that are coming through. Ollie as a manager won't win things. That's why, is what Leon says. Ramos to City. Is that a rumor today? I haven't seen that one. The thing is, there's so many transfer rumors. What I did just read before going live is that AC Milan will trigger the 28 million pound bid for Tomori in the coming days. So he will be an AC Milan player. And listen, everything's positive at the moment in relation to Chelsea. And the decision from Tuchel to let Tomori go, I think it was something that Chelsea fans were a little frustrated with maybe a month ago. Do any Chelsea fans care about that now? I doubt it very much indeed after becoming European champions for the second time in their history. Terry, please updates on Chelsea. Well, we did a Chelsea show this morning. There's going to be a dedicated Chelsea show tomorrow that Anita is going to be hosting, and I'm sure these things will be brought up then. There really isn't, barring what I just said there about Tomori, there's no new updates. I did see a report from Simon Phillips this afternoon that Haaland is the priority. Haaland and Kane are the priority over. You'll see a lot of this. So let's just go through this quickly. You've got more chance of signing Lukaku, but Lukaku isn't the number 1 or number 2 choice. He's the 3rd choice for Tuchel and Chelsea. So you're going to keep seeing that information recycled until one of the signings is done. But essentially, Inter Milan playing silly buggers now, trying to raise the price, is probably going to help Chelsea in the pursuit of their number 1 and number 2 targets, to be fair. But we went through that this morning. Sedek here says, I would have taken Tomori at United, Terry. Maybe. Listen, I always thought he was pretty good at Chelsea. He looked like a future England star. He still should be a future England star. I'm quite happy he's gone to Italy, though. He's going to learn to play there. I think more of a young player should go abroad and ply their trade. There's no doubt. Bakayoko, Emerson, Palmieri leaving. I would assume so. I think there'll be 5-6 players leave Chelsea this summer. There's no doubt. 3 or 4 come in, bolster, get ready. It's going to be an epic year next season for Chelsea. Don't worry about that. Man like Slens, did you get my message? I sent you a DM if you want to come on and do the debate today over Slens. If you didn't, I'll send you the link to come on at around 5:45. If I had a choice, Jadon Sancho and Lukaku over Kane or Haaland, 100% is what Slens thinks. Wow, that's an interesting one. That is an interesting one, to say the least. I think because I've had Lukaku at United before, I wouldn't go with that. But financially, Lukaku and Sancho cost almost the same as one of those other strikers. So you actually get more bang for your buck, maybe. More bang for your buck, more depth in your squad. Terry Blood, why is Ollie still employed? Because our owners lack the ambition needed. That's why. You didn't get my message, Slens. I'll send you it now, my bro. I'll send you it now, my guy. But listen, everyone who's tuning in. One sec. Sorry. Slens, I'm going to send you that now, G. Do you know what? Where are you? There you are. Do you know it's one of them ones where sometimes I have I've sent you the link, bro. Sometimes I have a message ready to send and I don't press the send button. I'm terrible. Alex is going to be on with us a little bit later as well. Terry, you could get Botman from Lille. We could. The thing with Botmans, even with Kunde, these signings are all risky. Raphael Varane is as sure a bet as you can take or make or risk you take. It's probably the right way of phrasing that grammatically. Because he's a World Cup winning, La Liga winning, multiple Champions League winning, top-class centre-back. With the Botmans and the Koundés, look a bit like Gabriel at Arsenal. Started well. No one was chatting about him by the end of the season. His second season might be brilliant. You just never quite know with young, untried, untested centre-backs. Was this say here about Egal? Someone wrote something about Egal and I've lost it now. I've lost it. It says you could get Egal to do something. I don't know what it was. But I did want to bet, though. I've had a lot of you DMing me about a bet I placed with Elite Opinions earlier on in the season. So yeah, so have a little look at that. By the way, Brian King, thank you for signing up and becoming a member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. Anyone can become a member by clicking on the link in our description below. Please go and sign up to that. There's 4 different tiers available, lots of different benefits. If you're a squad member or above, one of the benefits is being followed back on all your social medias. But you do need to DM us so we know what your social media handles are. If you don't DM us and let us know what your handles are, it's very difficult to follow you, especially as some of you use different usernames on YouTube as you do on social. So, yeah, there we go. Man like Monsieur here says, I don't think Varane is moving. He might give the new manager at Madrid a chance, probably moves next season. Terry, you reckon there's any truth in the Ronaldo move? I haven't paid the Ronaldo move any attention at all, because I just don't see it. I just don't see him coming back to Man United. Now, if for instance, I want to make sure I phrase this in the right way. If, for instance, it's a 1-year deal because we can't land our priority number 9, I'm actually okay with it. If we start looking at 2 or 3 year deals, I'm going to be worried. As great as Ronaldo is, as much as I adore the man, as much as I adore him, I'd rather the money go towards long-term planning. There is a financial thought that we could absorb the wages, especially with David De Gea most likely leaving. If it was a short-term deal, the goals he would score and the mentality that he would bring, I'm up for that side of it. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. But aside from that, we need to think longer term. There's no doubt. So I don't really know where Elite Opinions is. I haven't seen him in a while, but we're going to put it up on the screen now, what this man did. And we're going to put it up on the screen and what he said. And boy, do I look different in this. The set's changed. A few things have changed since then. But let's put this up on the screen, because this is what Elite Opinions was a regular in here. I haven't seen him in a while. This is what he said. Speaking. £500 bet that Chelsea win a major trophy again before Leipzig do.
I'll put £100 on it. Yeah.
£500.
£100.
Chelsea will win, and we'll give the money to charity. You're gonna agree to this on the air in front of everybody?
Yes, 100%.
There we go. So you need to send me a direct message so I need to know who you are, because I will hunt you down for that money to give it to the charity of my choice. But there's no way. So you're talking Champions League or league title?
Or the league, yeah.
So you think Leipzig will win the German league or the Champions League before Chelsea do from this point?
I think they might win 2 of them before Chelsea win it.
Well, that isn't the bet. But you think they'll win it first?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And in terms of Werner going to Chelsea, because I still think it will happen. So listen, that is what he said. He thought that Leipzig could win 2 major titles before Chelsea would. Elite Opinions, Come up with your money, bro. We're going to pick a charity. Your £100 is needed for that charity. You made the bet. Now you got to put your money where your mouth is, my G. If anyone follows him on socials, you get this message to that guy. He said that. He said that. He said that. Lots of people do bets on here. We've got to start holding accountability. Let's get Ty, the delusional, on for the biggest team in London debate. Listen, listen. Ty's great, but we've got great people on the terrace. We've got great people on the terrace. Alex is backstage. Igao is backstage waiting. Daniel is going to be with us. I think Slen's may be on his way as well. In relation to that, Terry, Ivan Tony to Man United. Is that a real link or is that people asking for it? If that's a real link, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that at all. But there we go. I'm still baffled by Elite Opinions. Can you imagine? He actually said that Leipzig could theoretically win 2 Champions Leagues before Chelsea would. Remember, he's a Spurs fan. He's a Spurs fan. Doesn't appear very much on the terrace anymore, if at all. But receipts caught in 4K. Well, at the time, we were actually streaming in 720, but it don't sound as good, does it? Do you know what I mean? But there we go. There we go. Let's do some more of your comments here. Listen, on a real level with Alfie, Alfie took some time away months ago before United's tail off. So he hasn't just ducked out because of what happened. That was the thing. Opinions, no, not so elite now. Yeah, his opinions are gone. Let's do this here. Arsenal are not bigger than Chelsea. No more. I'm an Arsenal fan. We may have more trophies, but they have won everything and have European trophies that we lack. Annie here says, can't see us signing Varane or Sancho. It's not very. People are not happy today. Not happy. Who do you think we will sign as a Man United fan? Who do you think will be coming into the club? Wesley here says Leipzig. Does he know anything about Leipzig? Dortmund won Pokal before Leipzig. I think his view was in the summer, if I remember correctly, that Leipzig on the rise. Excuse me. And Chelsea were finished. And for that reason, he couldn't understand why Werner was joining, which everybody just thought was, even at the time, everybody just thought that was a crazy take. Like it just didn't make any sense. Legit, no sense at all. Madison for 80 million, someone says. Where's Zayn? I have no idea where Zayn is either. Zayn just... Only thing I'd say when people spend a long time away, I just hope they're well and hope they're safe. But yeah, I have no idea where some of these people disappeared to. Deshane says, nah, United will get Sancho. Yeah, I believe Man United get Sancho. I'm so comfortable and relaxed about that potential deal. It's unbelievable. Miguel here says, you should get DT on. Man was chatting rubbish. DT will be on the show next week. He owes me a few shows, actually, for doing his voiceover. So he will be on at some point next week. In fairness, sometimes I just forget to reach out to him, to be fair. This is a great comment here from one of our members, James. Says, delete opinions. Do you know, that's funny. I'm going to use that against KJ when he chats nonsense again. Delete KJ. I like it. I like it a lot. I do like that. It's very clever. Very, very clever indeed. Igao is blue. I did see the pictures of Igao all blue. It was a sight. It was a sight to see. It was a genuine great sight. Some of you write some weird stuff. Terry, thoughts on Chelsea having a bigger European legacy than United? We have won 7 and you have 6. I mean, listen, you could push that argument through, but Man United have 3 Champions Leagues. And I think this is the interesting thing. During Man United's pomp under Fergie, we didn't go into the Europa League. You got to think, or the equivalent at the time. Chelsea, between winning their Champions Leagues, have had a few years where they've just not quite been good enough for the Champions League, so they've won the Europa League. I think it builds out your legacy, but it's one of those things where Fergie, barring 1 year, and we actually were really poor in it, Fergie had no chance of winning those other European Cups at Man United from when he became champions of England because he was never in it. So it's a hard thing to wait. Champions League weighs so much more. Chelsea have a very good European pedigree, though, so I think it is a debate, but I do think the 3 Champions Leagues pushes them past you slightly. Well, more than slightly. I think it's that you suddenly go to 3 Champions Leagues, though. Then that's when you start adding the other trophies to it as well, you know, because I would say something like, depends on the era, because the Cup Winners' Cup was a really big and respected trophy when it was won. I think you have one of those. I haven't checked. But I would say in the modern day era, I would say it would take 5 Europa Leagues to equal a Champions League in terms of weight, maybe even more. I love everyone's views and opinions. How many Europa League titles equal a Champions League title? And I don't know the answer. That's something to put out to you all for your views and your opinions on that. Peterson here says Varane wants European trophies. He wants Liverpool. Well, you've got Konate. If you sign Rafael Varane, then who are you selling? One thing about Liverpool fans I've noticed is that whenever you're linked with big players, you never want to say out loud who's going to miss out. Because if you sign Konate and Varane, Gomez is gone. What about Van Dijk? Van Dijk finished? No way Varane's back up. Maybe Konate back up for a bit, but for how long? Because like, Varane and Van Dijk have got 4, 5, 6 years in them. You ain't buying. I don't know. Maybe. I don't see it though myself. But there we go. We've got Alex. We've got Igal. We've got Slens backstage ready to come on very, very soon so we can start debating and looking and tearing the biggest clubs in London. I'm actually looking forward to this debate. Do you know why? Because I don't really have a dog in this fight. I'm going to be pushing and fighting for Leyton Orient, my brother's team, to be fair. That's why I'm going to be pushing to win this. I'll put it up on the screen because there it is, all sitting there ready. The big boys are waiting down there, as you can see. So that'll be coming on a little bit later. Tearing some of the clubs, to be fair, I didn't even recognize the emblem. Like Bromley Football Club, I think they're tiny. I don't know who they are. So we're going to be doing that a little bit later. So I'm really, really excited to be doing that with you. In about 5 minutes' time, we're doing it. Let's do some more of your comments beforehand, though. Who can you relate? Okay, that's a weird comment. Some of you write some weird things. I do worry about some of you. CFC Rahman thinks that Varane is going to Chelsea. He might be. For anyone who's new to tuning in, just a recap for you before we start the tiering session, because we're going to be tiering and debating London's biggest club tonight. However, Rafael Varane has reportedly told his representatives that he wants to join Paris Saint-Germain and have rejected the idea of signing for Manchester United this summer. At the same time, reports coming out of Spain have suggested that Real Madrid are now the favourites to sign Jules Koundé. Liverpool, Man United and Chelsea have all been talking to representatives and trying to strike a deal for the young 22-year-old centre-back, but have so far failed. Where this represents bad news for Man United is when you think about Liverpool and Chelsea, they've got pretty good backlines. Man United need to reinforce massively. And if these reports are to be true, Man United are going to miss out on their first and their second choice targets in those positions. So not a good bank holiday Monday from a transfer point of view for Manchester United. Let's do some more of these comments here. Terry, thoughts on Man City falling apart? Laporte, Bernardo, Cancelo, Sterling all want out according to The Athletic. I'm going to be doing a video on that tomorrow morning, mainly because I didn't get a chance to read it today. I'm not surprised. Speak about this all the time on the terrace. Cycles. When you have a strong squad from front to back, certain players, when they start to become surplus to requirements, when they find themselves on the bench on a regular basis, a year, 18 months, 2 years max, you can survive with that astoundingly good bench where everybody's jealous and like, wow, look how good it is. I think I heard the commentator say on Saturday night that Chelsea and in his opinion, Chelsea and City have the best 2 benches in world football, and they do. But there comes a point where those players are saying, I want out. I want to play regular first team football. On top of that, there's a lot of reports that some of the City contingent are not happy with Pep Guardiola's man management. His man management has come into question on multiple occasions as a pro manager. His brilliance as a technical, tactical coach, I think, sees him through. People are like, I think people put up with Pep because they know they can win with him. If he wasn't as successful on the field, I don't think he'd get away with some of his antics. The likes of Sergio Aguero, very unhappy at his treatment, how he was made to lead the club and everything else. Gabriel Jesus, also not very happy. But this always happens when your team is that strong. It's one of the reasons why I always say this, and you always get called like a Brexit football fan. But that's why when it comes, if we're gonna keep one of Fred or McTominay as backup, I would keep McTominay. If we're gonna keep Rashford or Martial as backup to someone new, I would keep Rashford, because they're academy players and they have a genuine affinity and deep-rooted love for the club, because most have been here since they were children. So you can keep them, in my opinion, happier for longer, being rotated and being on the bench more. All those players listed there are star players that were purchased by Man City to make them win championships, make them win titles, and they're now second fiddle. And interestingly, Cancelo, 2-3 months ago, Cancelo was being touted as the best fullback in the league. Now he can't get a game. Can't get a game. So of course he's going to want to pull away because his stock's high. Everyone in the world would want to sign Cancelo right now. Celso, I don't know what name, but there we go. Thank you for that super chat, my G. Ox here says, if Rafael Varane goes PSG, can we get Marquinhos? Maybe you can. Maybe you can. I honestly think about this. If you do, like Thiago Silva, Zlatan, as an example, they achieve things in their careers before going PSG. I don't think you can create greatness in the game playing at a club like Paris Saint-Germain your whole career. Young here says, no Europa trophy equals a Champions League trophy. It's like saying 5 or 6 championship titles would equal a Prem. I hear you on that, but you are going up against, you're not going up against the best, I suppose. That's why I'm asking. And maybe it is none. Maybe it's 5. Maybe it's 10. Maybe we'll get a consensus on that when we do the show. And we'll be bringing the panel on very, very soon to have their say. JP here says, since 2013, Man United have won an FA Cup, Europa League and Carabao Cup. In the same time, Chelsea have won the Premier League twice, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa, and Carabao Cup. Thoughts? Yeah, my club's run like shit. That's it. In our group chat earlier, Callum from Coppish put up a stat of how much money Man United has spent. I don't know the time frames. It's awful. We've spent the money to be better than that, but we don't have the ambition. We don't even buy the right people. It's a crock of shit. It's a crock of crap. It's a crock of crap. Yeah, look at it. I'm just looking at it now. That super chat gives me pain. I might end the stream. I'm not, but still. Cheers, JP. It's brought me down. I'm just sitting. All I can hear in my head is, hello, darkness, my old friend. Could be worse, though. Maybe, at least we won a little something. Could have been worse. But it's going on too long now. I'm getting old. I saw a picture of myself the last time we won the league title. I look fresh, man. No man boob in sight, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, looking haggard. Honestly, I look like a chewed up fucking marshmallow now. What United doing to me? There we go. Right, we're going to start the tiering session in a few moments' time. 1,538 people watching live. Do me a favor and hit that like button right now. Share this on your social media streams. We will be taking a few calls a little bit later. But without any further ado, Alex is here. Igao is here. Slens is here. Afternoon, gentlemen. How are we all?
What's good? I'm good, man.
Slens is obviously very happy.
Listen, incredibly happy, of course.
You guys
I like the setup as well, Slens. Very professional looking.
Thank you.
I'm wondering why Alex is here.
Because I'm here to defend my team. Because I'm here to defend my team. And that's it. Because I'm not, yeah, that's it. Simple as that. But I'm going to enjoy this today.
It's gonna be an interesting one to say the least. So we've started. I did the majority of it already. I didn't think there was any point debating where Bromley, Welling, or Dagenham, Redbridge, Leyton Orient, and any of these teams went. I don't suppose anyone watching cares either, to be honest. So we've got 4 teams remaining to start placing. 4 teams left to start placing today. And I'm intrigued to know where you're all going to sort of place them and put them. And I'm going to go to Alex first of all. And I'm going to give you, Alex, I'm going to give you your club, Alex. I'm going to give you Tottenham. Where should Tottenham be placed on this list?
This is not based on this season, isn't it? This is just
This is based on forever.
forever.
Life.
Okay, well, this is an easy one for me. The biggest team in the world, for me, the biggest team for me. Yeah, easy. Easy.
You're the big. Come on.
Okay, maybe huge then. Huge.
You don't even sound convinced, bro. You don't sound convinced.
Yeah. Why are Spurs huge? What makes Spurs huge?
Because of our history. We're the first people that have won the European trophy, right? We're the first people that signed a foreign player. We've had Glenn Hoddle through the door. We've had Teddy Sheringham through the door. We had David Gilliland through the door. Harry Kane through the door. I mean, all these players are players that Arsenal and Chelsea would dream to have. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is the huge team. And you know, if we didn't have Tottenham in our team, Tottenham in the Premier League, you wouldn't have most of the players that Chelsea would have. You know, Glenn Hoddle would have not existed as well. You see, it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's quite simple. We are the best, as far as I'm concerned. So that's it, really. And yeah, that's it.
Come on, good try, good attempt at trying to convince. Man celebrating, signing what makes you the biggest club in London? We signed Teddy Sheringham.
Wait. He said the first team to sign a foreign player. What? Okay, what does that mean?
Bro, it's mad. Teddy Sheringham was one of my most favorite players. Come on, that's a good attempt though, bro. I'll give you that. You're definitely bigger than Leighton Orient. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, where would you realistically? Where would you place? Where would you place your team, bro?
My team, yeah, Tottenham. If you one of the lower three, if I'm realistic, yes, I'll put that lower 3. But I would definitely say we're better than Arsenal, 100%. No way. No way. I'm not having that. No way.
Terry,
I'm not having this. I'm not having this because at the gal, you've been talking too much.
Can you move?
Honestly, no. We are better than Arsenal, 100%, 110%. But they've been living off winning. Been unbeaten in that year. I can't remember what year it was for so long now. Literally, Aguilar's been living on that for so long now. He's been clutching at straws of it so much. He's been wanting it so much.
Okay, when was your last league title? No. When was your last league title?
We're not going to talk about that.
No. If I'm holding on to something, you're holding on to your last league title. When was your last league title? Do you know the year your last league title was?
Well, yeah, it was 1960s, wasn't it? Or something like that, wasn't it?
Okay, so for somebody who has the cheek to say your team is the best when your last league title is 1960s, I'm sorry, mate. At least ours is this decade. I'm not even this decade. I mean, at least this century. What the hell's going on with you, bro?
Well, as I said, we've got a history. We've got a tradition of playing good football. What have you got? Just you know.
Excuse me. You have a history of not winning anything.
Pardon?
You haven't won anything.
Well, it's not just about that, though. We're here about tradition as well, mate.
Where's the Wanderers? They should be higher also. Crystal Palace should be lower, and Tottenham shouldn't be any higher than average or big.
Mate, you're digging a hole for yourself, mate.
Wait,
I'm not digging a hole.
I got a question.
Let me give you guys Tottenham CV. I have it right in front of me. You have 2 league titles. You have 8 FA Cups. You have 4 league cups. You have 7 community shields, 2 championships, right? And then a bunch of other trophies in Europe. 3 trophies in Europe. Overall, 26 trophies, okay? That is decent. That is a big club mentality. Yes, you guys have a lot of trophies. But the fact that you have not won anything of note for 50 plus years, don't chat to us, bro.
Wait, Alex, can I ask you a question, Alex? Can I ask you a question? Hold on. So if West Ham, for the next 5 years, make top 4, are they a bigger club than you?
No. West Ham.
So what makes you bigger than Arsenal then?
Huh?
What makes you bigger than
Look at the
Arsenal?
last 5 years.
No, forget about
the
Arsenal.
last 5
What
years.
makes you bigger than Chelsea? Let's go in chronicle order. What's bigger?
No,
what makes
Chelsea,
you
we're
bigger
not
than
going to
Chelsea?
go there because Chelsea are better than us, 100%. That's not the argument here. The argument is that we're better than Arsenal all day long.
Okay,
even
so
at our season, even at our bad seasons, we're still better than us.
How did you jump? Okay, so it's not based on this season, as you know. So let's go over this again. What are the criteria, Terry? Because clearly he's confusing with this season.
We can't set criteria because everyone cries. It's about you. You've got to come with your argument as to why your team or why a club, in your opinion, is the biggest. Because whatever criteria I set, someone will say, yeah, but what about this? So you come with your reasoning and we'll debate it. And then the audience will vote. They will super chat and they'll move places around based on what they think and feel. So for me, I look at the list right now. I don't think the list right now is disrespectful, really. Maybe I'm slightly off with a few teams I don't know too much about. We've placed Tottenham in huge. I mean, that for me is worrying me. Like Slens, Spurs are not a huge club, are they?
They're barely a big club. I'm sorry, they're barely a big club. Like, if you're saying they're a big club, right? I know it's a London conversation, but where are you putting Leicester?
Leicester's not in London.
Alex.
What are you talking about?
No, I know it's not a London conversation, but I'm saying if you're talking in the spectrum of England, where do Leicester rank? Do they rank higher than Tottenham? They do, right? And they've won trophies. They've won trophies. You guys have not won trophies. So I'm sorry, we can't put you in big. We can't put you in big. Listen, you might be bigger than West Ham and maybe West Ham and Crystal Palace, but that's it. I wouldn't put you in big either. I'll put you in average. You're not making top 4 anymore, anyways. So what does that make you? You're just floating in what? Top 6, top 10. That's all you're doing.
Let's have a vote on this, viewers. Let's have a vote on this now. Get your live comment. Maybe you can move things up and down or change it with a super chat. I want to know what you're all thinking and feeling. Should Tottenham be in huge? Should they be in big? Should they be in average? They've been put in huge by Alex. That's where he places them. We've already had a super chat come in and move them down 1. He said put them in small. We can't move them more than one place, but they're going to go down into big. That's a super chat straight in there from Kieran. They've been pushed down in terms of that. Some are saying tiny. Quite a few people saying big, to be fair, in the comments, but there we go. Let's go to the next team. We'll talk about this one through. Like West, it's an interesting. Maybe I've placed other teams into wrong space here. So West Ham. They're clearly, in my opinion, they're bigger than QPR, Charlton, Fulham, and Palace. But obviously, they're not as big as Tottenham, are they? Or they're about the same size as Tottenham.
Same size. Because this, you know what? Listen, if Harry Kane leaves, what differentiates you from West Ham? Like when it comes to attracting players, for example, what makes you want to go to Spurs rather than West Ham? If Jose's gone, you're gonna have Scott Parker as manager. Who are you gonna have as next manager? It's gonna be a manager who's up and coming. It's gonna be a new project. If you're looking at West Ham, that project, proven this year that they've gone up from 18th to what top 6. That's a more exciting project to me than Spurs. So I'm putting them in the same level as Spurs for me. West Ham.
Terry, I was just looking at the numbers. You need to move Crystal Palace down. If we're talking about trophies, we literally cannot have them in that.
Everything. It's everything, isn't it? It's trophies. It's fan base size. It's how you play football. Have you got a dynasty in the game? You know, is there something about your football club that transcends internationally? Like I think all these things can be used as examples. Like I think West Ham, when you think about how famed their academy is, the style of football, you know, I know none of us were alive when this happened, but, you know, their importance in us winning the World Cup in 1996 by the volume of players they had within that team. Like, these are all things the club has got as like bragging rights, and they all play a part. I think that's more than what the teams below them have, unless someone wants to educate me. I just think Tottenham maybe have a little bit more because they have won league titles. West Ham have never won a league title. That's obviously the only smudge really in terms of their history. But I don't know. Maybe we can move Palace down, but then Palace are bigger than Leyton Orient and with Millwall. So, but I'm not too worried about them.
No, they've been consistent in the Premier League. Palace deserve to stay there. Yeah,
I think I would keep Palace where they are up there in relation to that. We'll keep West Ham there for now, and we'll see what happens. But we're going to move.
I would move West Ham down. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be fair to Tottenham. I would move West Ham down because West Ham only have 3 honors in their history. 8 honors total, 6 domestic. They have 2 European trophies, but overall, I'll give Tottenham the edge.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with the girl there. To be honest,
Maybe we'll create a. What do you know? What we'll do, right? This is what we'll do. We'll just live. We'll do this. We'll create another tier. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way, right? So I'm going to create a new tier. I'm going to add one above, and I'm going to call the new tier. I'm going to call big, right? And then what I'm going to do, the one above it, very big. That's what I'm going to do. That's just the easiest way around it for me, and I think it keeps everybody happier. As it were. So that's what we'll do. And then the biggest, I'm just changing some of the colors here of these. There we go. So if I'm now put it back on the screen, that's a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Although I need to change some of these colors. We'll put average in as purple, just like that. That'll make it easier. There we go. Now we're going to move on to the big boys. Hang on a minute. We've got some super chats here, though. We can't ignore these super chats. First one, Maria Williams, big Spurs fan, says, move West Ham down one. We'll keep them there. Do you want me to move them down at average, Maria? Let me know where you want that to go. Spurs down one, Terry. I had one come in earlier. Look at that. Spurs are being moved down. So we'll move. I'm going to make a note of that on here. And we'll do that at the end once we've finished tiering. Spurs down and West Ham down. Right. I've got a note of that already. Thank you for them super chats, people. But now we're moving on to the big boys. I'm going to go to Igal first, and I'm going to give you Arsenal Football Club. Tell me where you are placing Arsenal Football Club. Are you putting them in big, very big, huge, or biggest?
Arsenal Football Club is the third biggest club in football. Is currently still the biggest club in London, and I will tell you exactly why. League titles: Tottenham 2, Chelsea. What is it? 6 or 7? Let me double check. Chelsea currently have 6, right? Arsenal have 13. So put them together, they still don't match us. Then you look at FA Cups. Arsenal have 14 FA Cups, the most in England. Then you got Chelsea. What do they have? 8. Tottenham themselves, what do they have? 8. Okay, once again, it shows you we supersede them in all those categories. You go to League Cups. Yes, they have, some of them have more League Cups than us. Yes, Chelsea have the Champions League, which we don't have.
The Champions League is two of them.
We have a larger fan base. We have more fans that show up in the stadium in general every single season. We have a larger world global fan base from my whole entire life till now. Maybe it's changing and Chelsea might be catching up.
That's not a fact.
But as of right now, we still have a larger fan base, and the numbers show it to you just based off social media. And I'll continue by saying until they catch up on the league titles, which we currently have, they will never catch up to us. We currently have 45 overall trophies. They have 33. So you know what? Until you catch up on major honors, and I'm not even discussing Tottenham. Tottenham, what do you guys have? Do you know? I don't even know. I think it's 24, something like that.
Best stadium in the world, mate. That's what we've got. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You're celebrating stadiums.
Yeah,
Just to show you how bad you are.
And we've been in the Champions League for how many years as well, mate? You know what I mean? So I don't know what you're talking about. Honestly.
Okay, so
honestly,
mate, you're embarrassing yourself, mate. You're embarrassing yourself.
No,
24.
I'm quite
to
doing well,
33.
thank you.
No, that's just embarrassing. Don't be talking about the greatest. You haven't won anything in years. 24, 33, 40, 45. You guys do the math. 45.
I got. Can I just debunk a couple of your things, by the way? Number one, social media, your cap, absolute cap. Because I'll tell you what, on Instagram we have 8 million more followers. Also on Facebook we have more 10 million more likes. You might have more than us, 500k in Twitter followers. Okay, yes, but boy, to tell me social media you're bigger, that's already cap. Now, when it came to Haaland, we had an argument on that not too long ago about Man City and Chelsea. You told me who would you rather join? Forget everything else, put the clubs there. You said he would rather join City. Okay? Now, if I ask you Chelsea or Arsenal, the best players in the world, who would they rather join? Chelsea or Arsenal?
That doesn't have anything to do with the argument we're having right now.
No, of course it does, though. But because
no, it doesn't. Let me explain why it doesn't. Let me explain why it doesn't. Okay. If currently you look at Barcelona's situation and you look at Chelsea's situation, Barcelona is a bigger club than Chelsea, but currently Chelsea have the financial clout to attract more players currently because Barcelona have a financial issue. Now, don't tell me because Barcelona cannot attract Haaland, you don't.
But of course it matters. Of course it matters. Of course it does.
Harry, you're
Listen,
supposed to be impartial here. Don't
I'm
get
being
involved.
impartial. I'm being impartial, and I will get involved here. You're ducking the question because
I'm not ducking the question. I answered it directly. I
No,
gave
no,
you an analogy why
no,
that does not make you bigger, or
because
it might make you a better team right now.
Miguel, you did duck the question and you didn't answer it directly. What you did is you gave a false equivalence because Barcelona not being able to sign someone because they've run out of money is different from a player picking Chelsea over Arsenal because Chelsea are a bigger club than you now. You haven't run out of money. So the equivalence that you've given is false. The question from Slens was, essentially the question behind what he's saying is, if you both go for a top player, Jack Grealish or Haaland, who do you think the player is going to pick? The answer can't be, well, my club hasn't got the money for him. That isn't the question.
No, but that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You cannot ignore the fact that finances rules the game. Finances rule the game, and if your club can put the money down, you will get the player majority of the time. It doesn't. Of course, attractiveness and current team situation has nothing to do with how big of a club you are.
But again,
you could be successful today. Listen, are Manchester City, because they're more successful right now than Manchester United, are they a bigger club than Manchester United? No. Just because you are more successful in your current era doesn't mean you're a bigger team. Now, let me give you guys an example. First of all, you guys are making fun of our current situation. Manchester United had 34 plus years where they did not win a league title. You had Liverpool, who had 30 plus years where they did not win a league title. Chelsea had how many years? 50 plus years, I think, or 24 years where you didn't even win a trophy at all. Tottenham, 60 plus years, or even more than that right now, where you haven't won a league trophy. We're currently 17 years, and look at how you guys are acting. Behave.
Can I ask you a question? So when it comes to you love to talk about money. But when it comes to money, does that equate to why we have 20 million more more followers on social media in general? Because I looked it up. You have 75.9 million followers on all social media. We have 93.4. Does that have to do with the money in the club? What does that mean?
You know what that means? That is the younger generation of fans. Might be more than might be Chelsea fans, because Chelsea have been winning as these guys have been growing in the social media era. So we cannot just look at social media as the only barometer. It can be one of the barometers, but the main barometer is there's a reason why we sell out more seats in our stadium. One, we also have a bigger stadium, but two, we have a larger fan base in London. That's why our stadium's always filled.
But how are you going to prove that to me? Because I just proved you wrong.
Let me give you another example. Baku. We had an allocation to go to Baku. Our fans made the trip over to Baku. Your fans did not even fill up the stadium.
So you're going to use a small stadium when I'm using a spectrum.
No, but you're giving me small examples.
Social media. No, this is social media. You're using a stadium, bro. Are you listening to what you're saying?
Guys,
that means that we're the biggest team because we've got a waiting list for us.
No, but you don't, Alex. You've just gone and mentioned my point. This debate cannot be won, and I will interject at these moments where I see things going down a bad road. And this debate cannot be won by singularity. Chelsea can't just be bigger than Arsenal because they're more desirable for new signings right now, but it's a contributing factor. You can't be bigger than Chelsea just because you've got a bigger stadium. But
that's not what I said.
I know you didn't say that. You're using it as a contributing factor. So the point is Slens gave an argument, which I think is valid, that right now Chelsea are a more desirable club, primarily based on the success they've had and the fact that more people are more likely to join them because they're going to get the success they want in their careers. Equally, you've conceded that the younger fans are moving towards Chelsea in their droves compared to Arsenal. These are two factors that make Chelsea a bigger club than you right now. You've got some in their favor. I just wanted to point that out in rather than this all becoming about singularities. I want your response to this, Igal. As an Arsenal fan, I used to argue about being the biggest, but you have to accept right now that Chelsea are the biggest. It hurts, but it's the truth. What's your response to Krishna here, who says that? As an
Chelsea are currently a better team, better run club, and in a better situation to progress. They are not a bigger club. You cannot be bigger than somebody or bigger than somebody else unless you've done what they've done or achieved what they've done and superseded it. Yes, they have accomplished things that we have not accomplished, but they have not superseded any of the things.
Of course, we have. There's a massive European trophies matter, and in Europe. Sorry, Terry, go ahead.
So on that,
he said something important.
Gal, no, we're going to move on to that. So from your point of view, Slens, Gal's made the point that you've got to supersede it. You said you have superseded it. Yes. In your opinion, How have Chelsea superseded Arsenal?
We've achieved what they've never achieved with their best teams, the invincibles that they love talking about, the 98 team they love talking about. We've done what they haven't done in Europe, and twice. A competition that you haven't qualified for in 5 years, and a competition that you're 6 points away from qualifying to in the table this year. We have won that competition, so you can't even get to the table, let alone compete. I'm sorry, that's incriminating. Like you can't. We're not in the same conversation anymore. After the win last 2 days ago, we're not even in the same conversation. It's over. Like you're telling me that history does not win you current trophies. Your 13 league titles will not win you the trophy the next year. So it doesn't matter. You can talk to me about the history all you like, but it's slowly. The tides are turning now. The younger generation doesn't care about it. The younger generation of footballers don't care about it. They want to join the best team, and that's Chelsea, unfortunately for you.
Okay. Listen to this. What about the fact that Premier League's league titles, there's a gap of 7 leagues. FA Cups, there's a gap of how many? 14 to 8. You have league cups. You have more league cups than us. And then when it comes to overall trophies domestically, we have more than you. When it comes to Europe, we have 2 cups, and one of them we don't even count, which is a fair cup, right? And you guys have 6. I hear that. I get that. But you have to understand, you cannot just use one barometer, which is Europe, to say, you know what, we are better than you in every single way.
Again, I have to come in and interject here because I'm trying to be really fair. Slens hasn't. Slens has used that social media account, the young fans coming over, the desirability they have for new players wanting to sign for them. He's come up with 3 or 4 things that make them bigger. I'm just saying he hasn't said one single.
Let me say what makes us bigger. Then
go on.
One, in the whole. Do you want to just take football? In the years that we've been in football, we have more titles than you. That's one. We have more major honors than you. That's one. Okay. That's the first thing, right? When it comes to average league position in the Premier League era, we have finished higher than you. Average the whole time in the Premier League, we've finished higher than you. We're the second most league position, highest league position in the Premier League era, right? Okay. We have more fans than you historically and currently. Still have more.
But I already debunked that. That's not true.
You guys might be catching up. I already
debunked that.
You can't prove to me that you have more fans. I will bring up documentation.
I'm telling you, we have 20 more million followers on social media. So how are you telling me you have more fans?
Listen,
based on what?
There's a reason.
I can send you the link if you like.
For that. If you want, you might have more younger fans that have a larger social media imprint, but it doesn't mean you have more.
So make sure, when you say your point, say we have more older fans, not more fans, because don't generalize. I'm telling you, we have more fans.
Listen, you don't look at human beings by their age bracket. You look at them as human beings. So if I say fans, I'm not going to say, I have 50 range and 45 range.
Listen, can I just say, people are saying don't use social media, but what else can I use? Because social media is a worldwide use thing, right?
I will let you speak.
Okay, go on. Sorry,
let me speak.
Go on. Of course.
Okay. Go on. As of right now, there's a reason why people say Manchester United is a bigger club than Liverpool. The reason why they say that is because Manchester United have a global reach, they have more fans, and they have, when the league titles are that close, they look at these other things. For us and Chelsea, the difference in league titles domestically is so large. I get it. The difference in European is large also, but we've been here for years. You guys are trying to catch up to us. There's a reason why we're on the show and you're trying to talk down to Arsenal, is because we are the benchmark you're trying to surpass. You have not yet surpassed us. There's a reason why every single Chelsea fan was saying once we win a second Champions League, we're going to be bigger than you, because you guys are looking at us and you're constantly trying to compare yourselves to us. You are not going to surpass us until, 1, you have more league titles than us. 2, you have a larger world fan base than us. And 3, when you consistently win.
I have one response to you. To
the point where we cannot super.
Cool,
we cannot.
I have one response to you. When it comes to the Premier League, how can you boast about a trophy that you haven't won in 17 years? I just want to understand.
How can you speak when your club didn't win a trophy for 25 years?
Yes. And back then I wouldn't have spoken to you. But you haven't won it in 17 years. You can't boast about it anymore. The things have changed.
Stop.
Listen,
Liverpool haven't won a trophy for 30 years.
Hold on.
The second biggest club, right?
Because if you want, I can use different barometers. I can tell you that since the Premier League started, 1993, the Premier League, the current setup we're in, the 20 teams that setup we're in, we have won more Premier Leagues than you have.
Okay,
I can use that as well.
Football started in '92.
That's what I'm saying.
In your 100-year history,
that's what I'm saying.
You only had 6
titles. You can use different. Listen, you can use different barometers you like. But I'm telling you, since 1993, which is the current system we're using, the 20-team system where things didn't change, we have won more Premier Leagues than you have. right? But I'm not going to use the argument. I'm telling you, you can't boast about something you haven't achieved
Okay.
in so long.
Since
Bro,
1905, you guys have 6 titles.
Okay.
I can do that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But listen.
But then they also have 6 European titles, and what I will say about Chelsea, and that's what I want to get into this part. So there's 2 things I want to break into here, otherwise we go around in circles. First thing is on the fans. Chelsea have a bigger turnover of income and are valued now higher than Arsenal. If Arsenal have more fans, how come Chelsea make more money off of fans?
Say it again?
So if Arsenal have more fans nationally and internationally, how comes Chelsea make more money?
When you're winning, you're going to make more gross income because people are going to be invested in buying your merchandise.
So you think that it's just because okay? So and then that's your only answer. You think because they're winning?
Yes. If you are successful, there's a reason why Liverpool merchandise was selling out when they were doing well, and it wasn't doing so well 4 years ago. When you're doing well, your merchandise sells out. That's why you make more money from the fans. Right now, fans are not happy with the Cronkies. They're not going to buy merchandise. Some fans are going to protest their own way.
Okay. And that's a fair argument. Viewers, what do you think in relation to that? And why is their valuation skyrocketed in front of you?
Their valuation has skyrocketed because
they're now worth over nearly 800 million pounds more than you.
Okay, 2 reasons. One, we've been steadily declining as a club, and that is one reason for the valuation being higher. And 2, because Roman Abramovich is constantly backing the club and investing large funds, which is great as an owner. And I would love it if my owner would do that, but that is definitely helping them get away from financial situations. Because if you constantly have somebody who's putting their money into the club and helping out the club when they're going through struggles, you're going to constantly increase the valuation of the club. And if he was to sell the club today, the next person who buys it would not only have to pay the valuation of the club, they would have to pay a certain amount to him directly. So it all automatically increases the value of the club by another $1 billion.
Okay, that's a great answer. I'm trying to ascertain this when we want to round this up at the end. I've got some super chats to do. I don't want to miss. Bear in mind those Chelsea teams that won in 2012 and 2001 weren't even world class. Thank you for that. There's a comment here I missed from Eric who says, I'm old, I'm not sure about it. London, but in Africa and the US, Chelsea is way bigger than Arsenal. Only United have more fans than Chelsea around the world. S. Roy says, wow, Igal. Sorry, where's that gone? Where's that? It's disappeared. It's disappeared. I'm really sorry. It went off my list. Giovanni says, I don't know who's more deluded, Ty or Igal. Matthew says, can we all agree that Community Shield shouldn't be taken into account at any club? Yes, we won't be counting them in terms of that when we come to the roundup at the end. Daniel here with a super chat that's just come in, and I'm sorry that I missed some people. This one here says CFC are bigger. FB in this country, a gal made up stats. Daniel says 17 community shields are the reason you have 45 trophies. We will be removing them towards the end.
It's 16, by the way, and you remove them.
Okay. So the next question.
I have an argument. It might be a bit silly, but I actually have an argument. I'm wondering. You talk about the FA Cup. Now, if you went for a season of just winning the FA Cup, would you be happy with that trophy?
A trophy is a trophy at the end of the day.
No. But the level of that trophy, would you be happy with it? The FA Cup.
Listen, we asked for our greatest ever manager to be sacked after finishing 4th every single year.
Same with Chelsea. We sacked Conte after winning. Sorry, we sacked Conte after winning the FA Cup. So it shows you, like, you want to talk about the FA Cup, but I'm telling you, you put the Champions League there. You have to give it value. Give it that value that it deserves.
Okay, are you ignoring the fact? Are you ignoring the fact that in your evaluation? No, go ahead, Terry.
I want to ask a question on that. So we round it into a conversation. Chelsea have won 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa League, but they also won 2 Cup Winners' Cups when the Cup Winners' Cup was a serious trophy. That is very contextual.
Real Madrid, yeah.
So in 71 and in 1998, I believe they won that. But Chelsea have 4 big European trophies and 2 small ones in their history, where Arsenal have none. So what? How much weight is in that, Igal?
Excuse me, we have a Cup Winners' Cup.
Okay, 1 Cup Winners' Cup. Sorry, I'm a liar. I apologize. For 6, 1 to 6, a ratio of 1 to 6. Does that not hold some weight in your opinion? Considering 2 of them are the Champions League, which are the creme de la creme, the pièce de résistance, the ultimate trophy to win.
You want to know something, Terry? You remove our community shields and you take Chelsea's whole history, and compare it, we still have more trophies overall.
Well, can I ask you a question? Sorry. Can I ask you? How many?
Sorry, Slen. That wasn't my question. How much weight do European trophies have in your opinion?
I was going to add to that. Yeah.
I would say if European trophies have weight, you have to look at them at the same level as Premier League or league titles.
Oh.
So if you win the Champions League, it's the same as winning a league. If you win a Europa League, it should be the same as winning a FA Cup.
I have a question. How many FA Cups have you won again? How many did you say?
14.
How many would you trade for one Champions League?
At the end of the day, anybody you ask this, they would trade whatever award they have a lot of for the one that they don't have. So this is an irrelevant question. Of course,
Answer the question, please.
No, but of course, if I could, I would want a Champions League trophy. Everyone would.
How many of them would you trade?
You swap.
Realistically, I don't know. How am I going to gauge this? What do you mean?
Well, it's on you, innit? This is the question is from Slens. It's how many league titles would you give up to have a champion? And the fact that you said you would tells you how potent they are.
Listen, but of course, anybody who doesn't have a major honor, Manchester City, you ask them, would they trade in a couple of their league titles for a Champions League? They would, because at the end of the day,
we can establish that. We're having a Manchester debate. Yes, of course, with City, we can establish that. We can have that argument on having who's a bigger Manchester club. And I promise you, they might use that argument. We're talking about London right now. For you, your specific situation, how many FA Cups would you swap for one Champions League? Let alone two that we have, yeah? But please, go ahead.
I think it's a relevant conversation, man. Generally,
you're not asked.
At the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm happy.
If we won the Champions League, if we won the Champions League, we would have been better than you. We'd have been better than you. So that's an argument.
When it comes to FA Cups, we have the most FA Cups, and I wouldn't want to lose that.
Then say that. Listen. It's really. I really enjoy these debates. I really do. Maria Williams here with a massive super chat says they send this now. Create a new tier, washed up, and get Arsenal in there. We are going to go to your super chats now. My final point I wanted to do before we start. There are other super chats. I don't want to miss putting them up on the screen. Maria Williams, thank you so much for that super chat and that donation. It means a great deal. We always miss super chats because there's so many comments. Alex here says Chelsea are the only club in the world to win all variations of the European Cup. I didn't know that. 35% of Arsenal's trophies are community shields. There was a super chat from Pav that says, Terry, I think Arsenal win one Champions League, they go back on top. The fact they don't have one hurts them. Igal has got no legs, is what someone here says, and we've had all the other super chats. But I wanted to go through all the points that you've all mentioned, and I will challenge everybody's points, or if you didn't answer questions and everything else. So let's kind of go through this, engage it, and I want your votes on who you think's bigger in all this section. So today we've mentioned social media fans, global fans, as in all fans of all ages, Igal. European success, domestic success, quality of ownership, income, valuation, and there's one other, and I forgot what that word was, desire. So the desire from other people to join. They're all the subject matters that have come up today, right? So based on that, who's biggest, and the question is biggest, on social media?
Obviously, Arsenal fans are hiding. So
it's Chelsea, it's Chelsea.
So yeah, there's more Chelsea fans on social media.
So we're going with Chelsea on that one. Who's got the biggest? Who's got the biggest fan base in your opinions?
I'll say
Arsenal have the biggest fan base.
I think Tottenham because 100%.
Yo, Alex. In all due respect, I lived in Canada my whole entire life. I've never seen any Tottenham fans.
Yes. So, okay, cool. So we're going to say Arsenal. I'll give Arsenal that. Arsenal have the most fans globally. We'll give that.
What's good, Bab?
Who's got the best? How you doing, Babs? How you doing, Dan? Who's got the best domestic success?
Arsenal.
Okay, so that's another one for Arsenal. Who's got the best European success?
Oh, that's Chelsea. Unfortunately, I have to say Chelsea.
Who's the most taking all that into consideration, who's the most desirable for players to join now?
It's got to be Chelsea,
of course, but that shouldn't be included in this argument.
Who's got the best owner?
Okay, we know who has the best owner.
Okay,
that's an obvious one.
Who's got the most income?
Chelsea.
It's the team that's winning the most.
Who's got the most valuation?
Tottenham.
Tottenham don't have the most
stadium.
Bro, come on, man. Please, man. Please.
Talking about your stadium.
No, your
stadium. Our stadium.
You're not worth more than either of them, Alex, for trolling there. So I'm saying me. This isn't me. This is me basing it on everything that Gal and Slens have brought up. They brought up European and domestic success, social media fan size, global fan base size, desirability to join, ownership, income, valuations, everything else. Chelsea are currently winning on that debate 6-2.
What about what I mentioned, Terry?
Like what else? Yeah, let's bring up these other things, and I want to get Bav and Dan's opinions as well.
Okay, what about average league position since the Premier League started? We've been higher than Chelsea every single year.
Okay, so
except for the years they won and the past 4 years.
I mean, is that a thing?
When you look at a club, you look at their average.
You can't do average league position of the Premier League, but then when we say we dominate you in terms of number of Premier Leagues won, we can't include that.
So you want to use your 100+ year history.
You either use your 13.
Okay, what about the fact we've never been relegated and you guys have been?
No, but that doesn't come down to who's bigger. That's not an argument as to who's bigger. Because I could get relegated 5 times in my
six
first...
6 times, by the way.
One sec. I could get relegated 6 times in my first 6 years of my history, but then if I dominate after that, what happens? Am I still a smaller club?
Can I also answer that? Does that make you bigger than your Man United? Because they've been relegated and you haven't. Does that make you bigger than them?
Exactly.
Listen, I'm
just
pointing out arguments.
Yes or no?
Listen. I could do that too. But I'm not bringing in other.
But you're bringing the argument forward, bro. That's what I'm saying. Don't use the argument then. If you can't use it for others, do you know what I mean?
You can use it for everyone. I'm just saying, in this case, we're talking about Chelsea, Arsenal. If we're going to talk about the current situation, we can also talk about the past.
Of course, yeah. Listen, fair enough.
I know you've been impartial in that, and I hear it, but you're letting them get away with a lot of nonsense because when we're talking about.
Sorry, yes or no?
Yeah.
I try not to get involved as much. Sometimes
No, I'm gonna call you out for this because I was listening, and I literally just put home because I had to get on this, bro. You can't say we have more of a fan base or more of a presence on social media because we got the younger audience and this and that, and then your argument is you're talking about the history. Fam, we're defining everything by evidence that we can actually bring forward. How much? What is the measure for how big your fan base is? What is your measure? You can't just tell me, oh, because our history says we have a bigger club or we have a bigger stadium. You think Roman Abramovich doesn't want to build a 70,000 seat stadium? You think we wouldn't fill that out?
So let me stop you there. If you're using social media as a barometer,
one sec, man. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Don't use the stadium argument, I beg you, because bro. Stamford Bridge gets filled out every single week, my bro. Roman Abramovich wants to build a bigger stadium, which will get filled out every single week. The problem is the location of Chelsea doesn't make it acceptable for us to get a bigger stadium. That's the only reason. So don't bring that.
When it comes to attendance, West Ham have more of an attendance than we do. That doesn't mean they're a bigger club than us. Do you understand? Because they have a bigger stadium.
They got a bigger stadium. So don't use the stadium. That's why when Alex is talking about the Tottenham thing, I'm sorry.
No, because that's a fact, mate. So don't even know where you're going to go there.
That's all right, man.
Don't even go there, mate.
Take a stadium.
Don't even go there with me, mate.
Alex, take a stadium, bro. Comedic value. Babs has joined us, mate. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. What's your 10 penneth on this in terms of the biggest club in London?
I ain't going to say Chelsea. As much as it might be factual evidence, but I ain't going to say it. I'm an Arsenal fan, innit? But, okay, so this is how I see it. I see as Arsenal, obviously, in the entirety of football, have been a bigger club than Chelsea. But that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. You know, the way Chelsea are going right now, they will overtake Arsenal if they haven't already, according to Chelsea fans, because the new generation of fans are going to support Chelsea. So we could have the past and we can have the history, but I am scared because if you're a kid going to school nowadays, who are you going to support? 8th place Arsenal, Champions League winning Chelsea. You're going to support Chelsea, innit? So it's a fear, but I guess Arsenal fans, like we are, we're holding on to the past. We're trying to make the best argument we possibly can, but our club's not giving us any ammunition. But look, in terms of the trophies won and Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, it's like, even if you take away the Community Shields, I think Arsenal still have probably 5 or 6 more trophies won in total, with Premier Leagues, FA Cups, and trophies in general. But yeah, I think right now I'd still say Arsenal bigger because I'm an Arsenal fan, but Chelsea are well on their way to taking Arsenal.
Babs, can I quickly come in there and thank you for being level-headed with this, and this is what I wanted to add to that argument, and the reason why I give Chelsea the edge, and not even the edge. I actually think it's quite comfortable now. Like you can clearly see two main reasons. One, I'm gonna go back to an argument that Egal was using on previous streams when we were talking. We used the argument of how much weight do we give to European trophies, and Terry is obviously the witness to that. How long do you think it will be till Arsenal win 3 Champions Leagues?
I don't know. We have to win. We have to qualify first before we start winning the Champions Leagues.
I'll ask you this, yeah. No fact, and I'll ask you this: who do you bank on? Who do you bank on winning this first? Arsenal winning 3 Champions Leagues first, or Chelsea winning 7 Premier League titles? Who do you bank on winning that?
7's
first?
a lot, though.
7 is a lot. No, 7 is a lot, but 6 was also a lot, and we did that.
So 6 is over how many years has that been? 15 years? 20 years?
6 has been 15. Yeah, 15 years. About 15 years.
No.
And then 3 Champions Leagues, bearing in mind you've won 0 and been to only 1 final in the last how many years? Because I don't know how many finals you've been to prior to the
7 is
Let me just stop you right there. That's a false statement because your first title was in 1954. So if you want to count all 6,
one sec. I'm talking about your Champions Leagues. How many Champions Leagues have you won? You've won 0, yeah.
No. You're dodging it. You can't say we won 6 titles in 15 years when you only have 6 and your first title was in 1954.
Okay, we've won 5 in
Okay,
6,
yeah,
we won 5,
we won, 5. All right, cool. But you were including all of them because you're saying we need to catch up to the 13, right? You're not saying Premier League titles. We're talking about all Division 1 titles.
Okay, let me ask you a question as a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, go on.
If you win say you win another Champions League, you get 3 Champions Leagues. Say you win 4 Champions Leagues, meaning you have more than Man United do. Does that make you bigger than Man United?
No, of course not. But we're looking at the margins.
But why would that be?
One sec. We're looking at the margins. And when we talk about Man United and we're talking about Chelsea, there's the global fan base argument that comes into it. There's desire. Look, as much as Man United aren't where they used to be, Man United still are a desirable destination for a lot of players. Like, you have to factor those things in. Like, let's look at some of your club legends are legends of our club, and it's because of what they have won at our football club. Ashley Cole, Cesc Fabregas. Would you say they're bigger legends of Chelsea or Arsenal? And these are some of your big legends that are probably
Olivier Giroud
that could arguably get statues if you really wanted to be nice.
Giroud
like,
is not a legend.
This is a part of Giroud.
But you didn't answer his question. You walked around it.
What do you mean?
No.
I did say no.
No, I said no.
You know, I think that's what the point is. What normally happens with a lot of these arguments is everyone tries to win it on one point when there's multiple factors. When you use the Man United argument, equally, we've got 20 league titles, we've got 7 more than you. So if Chelsea had 15 league titles and 4 Champions Leagues, and we hadn't won anything major for 17 years, they were they had a bigger income. And I asked you about the income earlier, and I really opened the door. I was hoping for a Daniel-like challenge to come on around quantify. You've got a bigger fan base. One of the super chats here says it that there's more fans worldwide.
I sent the link to Slends and to you, fam. I wanted it to be put up that we've got the bigger fan base, and we got.
I did make the argument. I did. Yeah, I did.
No, and I get that. And the point is, you can't just claim to have a bigger fan base. You have to be able to prove a claim in a debate. So the point is about Chelsea having 4 that make them bigger than Man United. Let's look at all the factors that have come up today: ownership, desirability to join, income, valuation, size of the fan base, even things like shirt sales globally or nationally. That gives you an idea of how many fans you've got. I get a gal's point, and it's a fair point, that you're more likely to buy a shirt of your club if it's doing well versus not doing well. But that also actually undoes you in the argument of who the biggest is. Because if more people you're bigger because of that. Like Apple are now bigger than Nokia, but Nokia have got a bigger history and been around longer. But no one buys Nokia anymore because Apple's bigger. And I think
no. If you're
what do you mean? No.
No, but if you are,
you got a Nokia.
If you are currently the trend or the in fashion team, you're going to sell more shirts. You're going to do better. I
understand that, Gal, but again, it's singularities here. That's one thing Chelsea are doing, coupled with the European success, the very good recent domestic success, the income that's turning over, the desirability, the great ownership, and everything that goes into it. So I get you. It's not like they had a Leicester City season and they suddenly had a spike in shirt sales and everyone's gone, they're bigger than Arsenal now. This has been growing for 15 years.
But we're mixing up bigger and better. They might be better right now, but they're not bigger.
Bro, there was one point that wasn't even addressed properly. You want to talk about, because I can tell you that in Africa now, for example, Chelsea is a more popular club than Arsenal. You go over to Asia, Chelsea is a more popular club than Arsenal. So I want you to tell me, because you've gone on this history thing, this older fans thing, but you've not told me, you haven't brought forth evidence to tell me that Arsenal is the bigger club. It's just the stadium, and that's because of the number of seats that you can fit into the stadium. Bro, that's not an argument as to why you're bigger. Why is your fan... Just tell me the argument as to why your fan base is bigger.
1 second.
The numbers.
You asked me, tell me. I would have to look that up. I won't have it
fair enough.
right now.
Tell me why.
Am I a supercomputer? Like, what do you take this?
Because yours literally, but what you're telling the people, and I think you're lying to the people. You're basing it off of a hunch. You're telling them.
And do you know what, Daniel? Sorry, bro. Even if you look at, we don't look at social media. Let's look at shirt sales, right? Shirt sales is another way to look at who has more fans, who buys more shirts. Even with shirt sales, we've got more shirt sales than you. I think it's 55 million to 40. I think 50 something. For Arsenal, it's a lot less than Chelsea. So if you don't want to use social media, that's fine. We can use other barometers. Do you know what I mean? So if you can give me
one thing I'll say though,
yeah,
one thing I'll say is about shirt sales is, if you look at Liverpool and their deal with New Balance when they weren't winning trophies, the moment they started winning trophies, there's no coincidence why Nike, a bigger brand, came with a bigger deal. You know, when you're successful, fans will buy shirts. They will buy players that, you know, with the back of the stuff like that. Arsenal right now, we don't have these superstar players. Fans don't want to buy them shirts like that. Then,
and bro, you said 2 words there, Babs. You said 2 words in that sentence. You said bigger brands with bigger deals for bigger clubs.
Exactly.
Clubs in, and that in itself is a commercial element that says these things. And commerciality plays a big part, and fan base size plays a big part. Historically, Arsenal have more trophies. No one can deny that. But I've said this about Man City for a while. It's going to take them maybe 30 years to catch us up in terms of trophies. But if another 10 years go past and we don't win a league title or a Champions League and we're scrapping for top fours, and they maybe win 7 or 8 titles in that space and a couple of Champions Leagues, and commercially they go past us, and all these same factors, I'll sit there and admit they're bigger than us now, because I don't think you need to have it. More trophies in every single category and all the other factors to be deemed bigger. I think there's a tipping point really where you might win in certain categories, but overall it just falls that way. And I think Chelsea are there or thereabouts.
Sorry, can I just ask you, Gal, then? Because obviously it seems like we're getting to the end of the debate. But what do you think the tipping point in your mind for Chelsea to become bigger than Arsenal in your head? Like, what's the tipping point for you? Is it the league titles? Is it the domestic? Is it the FA Cups? Like, what do you think it is for you?
Okay, so I see how you guys always say Community Shield doesn't count. Okay, so in that case, League Cup doesn't count either, right? Am I right?
Why not?
No, it does count because that's our cup, mate. So don't even go there.
There's one off match.
Don't even go there.
Tottenham have a cup.
Yes, they have won that cup 3 times in their history.
I thought it was the Audi Cup.
Their history.
You see, this is why I was wondering why Alex is here, because
No, it's not. If you're going to talk about history, mate, we've got better history than you, mate. So let's not go there, mate. You know what I mean? Forget Chelsea. Forget Chelsea, because we know you're big. We know you're bigger than us. I can't have to be honest here. That's eluded me saying that. But Arsenal, sorry, if you're going to talk about history, we're better than you. I've already put up a list already about our history.
I love it.
Already.
He said it was funny. He said they're bigger than Arsenal because they signed Teddy Sheringham. I love Teddy, by the way. You know, honestly, if they were legend. In fairness, Teddy Sheringham's won more Champions Leagues than Arsenal as well. To be fair, but there we go.
So when you're looking at fan base, Daniel, when you're looking at fan base, you're just looking at social media. Do you not look at historical attendance? Because I looked at a stat that talked about historical attendance, and I think Chelsea are 9th, where Arsenal are 2nd.
Yeah, but you've also got to factor in the way stadiums used to be. So, like certain stadiums that now owed 60,000 used to be able to get 100,000 people that were standing up. It's that safety measures have changed all of that. Like, I get your point, and the historical part goes into it, but it's about who's the biggest now. Do you know what I mean? And
okay, so
20 years ago, we'd have been putting the likes of Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa into this conversation. They've still got their history. Why don't we chat about them anymore? Because they've stopped competing.
I will never say that Chelsea are a bigger club until one, you overtake the amount of trophies that we have total. Okay, that's one. And two, until I see you guys consistently have larger numbers of fans, attendance wise and worldwide than us. Because I have seen social media imprint, but the social media imprint can be flawed because at the end of the day, we know that there's a large Liverpool fan base, but they have not been visible for a large portion.
Can I
When they
just
start
say?
winning,
Can I
we
just
see
ask you
more of
the?
them show back up.
Can I just? I'll just ask you the last
Right now
question.
with the Arsenal fans base. So if Arsenal was tomorrow to somehow dramatically win the league, believe me, you would see the social media imprint swing.
Can I just? Can I just? And do you know what? That's a fair argument. Cool. Arsenal fans are in hiding and whatnot. Okay. I just asked you the last argument in there, or last point, because I just think that your tipping point is flawed, and I can understand why. Obviously, being an Arsenal fan, it would be hard for you to admit that Chelsea are a bigger club. But so if Chelsea were to win, let's just say they won 2 more Champions Leagues in the next 10 years, which is feasible, it's possible, especially with the squad that we have now. That will put us up to 4 Champions Leagues. I don't know, Terry, if you can help me quickly.
Can I say
bring up-
something? A great man once said on this stream to me, let's not do hypotheticals. And I think it was you. So let's not do hypotheticals.
No, but the hypotheticals have to work because in this scenario, you're set in your mind.
I'm not
that
speaking hypotheticals.
Arsenal
I'm
aren't
speaking
a big
facts.
club.
You guys have more Champions Leagues than us.
Facts.
We have a
I
lot
have-
more
I have-
league titles than both of you guys.
I have spoken facts because if you think about it, 2 Champions Leagues is a lot more than you, because when you think about how many Champions Leagues have been won by the amount of clubs, it's a very exclusive club, bro. So 2 Champions Leagues is a lot more than you as well.
Yeah, and you know what?
And that's why
I'll take
one sec. That is why when you were saying Champions League need to be looked at, Champions League need to be put on the same level as Premier Leagues, that's nonsense. That's absolute BS. And you're like chatting absolute wass, because what if the Champions League is put on the same pedestal as the Premier League? Why is it such an exclusive club? Why have there only been a set amount
you didn't hear what I was saying. I was asked how many FA Cups I would exchange for Champions League, and I said, you know what, I value Premier Leagues as much as a Champions League, not necessarily in equivalence.
How many Premier Leagues would you exchange for a Champions League right now?
I'm not gonna get into that because I'm happy with the amount of
Answer the
amount of league
question.
titles we have. I'm not happy with the amount of Champions Leagues we have.
I'll give a Gal a thing. You can tell a Gal grew up in North America where they were debate classes. Like, you know, every time it's a question he can't answer, he does find a way of worming himself off that hook. I do like it. But viewers, listen, great challenges put forward by lots of people tonight. It's nice sometimes just to sit back and let the conversation go. We've got some super chats I've got to do here. First one from Big, who says Arsenal have the best manager and the best players in the world. Willian. Best player in the world, Willian, show some respect. Enigma says the Chelsea fan is not giving evidence either, just word of mouth. TV channels away have Arsenal on Prime. TV channels go off real fan surveys, is what Enigma says. If you've got a link for them, I'd genuinely love to see them for a separate matter, but thank you very, very much. Jayling's fan with a couple of super chats here says, Chelsea is massive in Africa, mostly because of the trend of African players. There's even Chelsea movies. I didn't know about that. That's an interesting one. Jayling's here says, Terry, are Arsenal bigger than Aston Villa? And Babs said Arsenal will win the league next season. Did you, Babs? Where did you say that?
I didn't say that. I just put a banter tweet out saying Arsenal 66 out of 1 to win the league next season. It's time to make some money. That's all I said.
I love it. But viewers, I'm leaving it down to you. This is where we've tiered things after the super chat so far. So Arsenal have been put into the wash category, courtesy of big Tottenham fan Maria Williams, who put that super chat in for that. You can move Arsenal out. It's going to cost you £50 or more. We can't disrespect the super chats, but that's where we have everybody ranked at this moment in time. I'm going to give you 7.5 minutes for you to get your super chats in to change this around, but also put your comments in. Who won the debate tonight? Igal, Babs, and Arsenal, or Slens, Daniel, and Chelsea? Get your comments coming in now. Get them in. Make sure you're hitting that like and share button as well. I enjoyed it, though. I enjoyed the debate. Do you know, I love talking on this channel, not about Man United. That's just generally it now. I just love not talking about United, if I'm being honest. It's relaxing.
Did they do a bad job or something? You forgot me. You forgot Tottenham there.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
If you use the Chelsea logic, Terry, is Liverpool's 3 more Champions League mean they're bigger than you?
A lot of people argue that they are, but in all the other areas that you've mentioned, so that we spoke about tonight, social media count, desirability, income, size, international fan base, we're bigger than. The thing is, they do have 6 more Champions Leagues than us, but we do have 3 Champions Leagues. Like, we've won 3 of them, if that makes sense. But we've got 3. Although Chelsea are 2 in front of you, you don't have any. Like, if you had 1 Champions League, I don't think Chelsea fans would be pushing.
Well, hypothetically, it's easier for us to get 2 than it would be for you to get 3.
Well, no, it isn't.
We've made this argument already.
It isn't though, because in your 100+ year history, you have none, and we have 3. So times your none by another 100 years, you're on none still.
Okay, let's not do it.
And with all due respect, you haven't qualified for a competition in 5 years.
Mathematically, it might be easier to get 2 Champions Leagues than it is to get 7 league titles. But realistically, it is harder to get a Champions League than it is to get a league title in this current situation.
I understand that, and this is the thing. A lot of people have argued in the past that Liverpool are bigger, and I let them have their arguments in terms of that, and it's fair. Man United and Liverpool are a lot closer in the debate than I think the others are. And listen, this is your debate between yourselves in London. I don't support a London club, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. I just like seeing the arguments in relation to that. But I said earlier in the show, like when I looked at City, I don't think it's going to take 30 years for them to catch us. I think in another 10 years. A lot of people here are saying Chelsea. There are some people here backing a Gal and Arsenal as well.
Can I say one thing?
Yep.
There's one thing you guys don't have, and it's going to be hard for anybody to do. Go a season unbeaten.
Invincible.
We've already had this.
But we can use our achievement of hold on. We've conceded 15 goals in one season. Can you?
Exactly.
Anyone ever achieve that?
We 1sec lens. We have the record for the least goals conceded in a Premier League season, and we have the record for the least goals conceded in a Champions League campaign. Bro, let's not do which record is more.
We're gonna compare achievements.
Don't compare achievements, bro. Don't. Because honestly,
individual achievements isn't gonna win you this debate, bro. Because like I fully agree. What you do to deflect is try and make comparisons with other clubs when really and truly it's down to the 2 clubs that we are talking about, Chelsea and Arsenal. And in reality, we're if you don't think we're already there, bro, we're on your coattails. We're literally tugging you behind. We can touch you right now. So, bro,
you see, he just admitted it. Thank you. Conversation done. Everybody heard it. He said they're on our coattails. They're behind us. They're trying to catch up. They're clutching.
Did you just listen to the first sentence?
He didn't hear the full part. Selective hearing.
I said, bro, selective hearing. This is what I'm saying. And this is one thing I'll say to the people at home. Don't listen to just respond. Listen to understand and then respond. I said, if you don't believe it, that's fine. But for a majority of Arsenal fans, we're literally tugging you back. Really and truly, I know we're ahead of you right now, but you don't want to hear it. The Champions League makes us invincible. You can't touch us. You need to win the Champions League, bro. And you're not winning the Champions League, in my opinion, for as long as I live. So,
Daniel, to have an argument here, you don't have to be the best team to win the Champions League. However, after you won that Champions League on Saturday, you were the best team in London. Whatever I think about Chelsea, you are the best team. You are better than Arsenal. But your
argument is your conversation, Alex. Respectfully,
I've heard you dig a hole about Tottenham. I know you love Tottenham. I know you like Tottenham in the back of your head, mate. Because we send you messages all the time, mate. You wanted Gareth Bale. You never got Gareth Bale. You wanted Harry Kane. You don't get Harry Kane.
Alex,
Harry Kane.
You cannot
Harry Kane is the best striker in the world.
Ever.
So what are you saying, mate? You can't say nothing to me, mate. Honestly, mate. There's no point even talking. You know, even history-wise, we're better than you, mate.
I love you
every single day.
I love you. You know what's mad, right? Just someone earlier in the comments said, Terry, this is a great debate, but who's got the most deluded fan base? If they're anything like Alex, we all have our answers there.
It's
I'm not deluded, right? Mate. I've got a nice smile and I'm chilling.
Arsenal, they might have be fallen giants, but you're talking like Chelsea and Arsenal, United, Liverpool, City. When you talk about that contingent of the top of the big 6, like, even the arguments that Gal's made tonight, they're legitimate arguments as to why they're bigger and they're fair. Why Man United are bigger or Liverpool are bigger than each other is fair. Spurs don't have an argument to be involved in this conversation. Like your inclusion in the big 6, it's like invitation only. Do you know what I mean? Like you got there by a fluke, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Everyone else has earned it and you're just sort of there. You want a prize on the back of a box of cornflakes. You get what I'm saying, bruv?
Don't
know what I
talk
mean?
if you have the same amount of league titles as Huddersfield. Come on, bro.
Mate, don't be disrespectful, man.
They actually have more. I'm
Give
sorry.
respect to
Thing is
Tottenham.
though, thing
Give
is, this
respect
whole
to
biggest
Tottenham.
debate though. To me, right, I don't really care about it because it doesn't get you anything. I'd rather be where Chelsea are right now, where they're fucking winning trophies. I don't care about what we won in the 30s, to be honest. But that's all I have, so I have to fight with that. That's my ammunition.
And this is
But
one is
would
three
I
times
rather
in
be
the
a
30s,
part?
man.
Would I rather be a part of making history, or the history be done? I'd rather be part of
Exactly.
making
And
history.
this-
So
Well,
that's that.
this
Being
is
real,
such
that's
a
what I'd
key
rather
point.
have in it. I'd rather be
This
winning
is
Champions League
respect
today
to
than having won it 80 years
Hold
ago.
on, man. I think it's deeper than that as well. The history is important, and the history is important because like being proud of the invincible achievement is amazing. And if I was an Arsenal fan, I would never want to see another team go unbeaten all year because that's something you've got that's unique to you in the Prem. Same with us with the treble. Like, I'm desperate for no one else to do it because it's unique to us, but it isn't enough. It's this case of we can't hold on to that forever as a club. If we go 30 years without winning a league title, then it becomes an irrelevant conversation to a degree. We're currently on 8-9 years. We're moving to a point where I've said it on stream so many times where United fans have got to start thinking about readjusting themselves if we don't start picking up these major titles soon. Because you're right, you want to make history at the same time and celebrate it. And I think for me, the two things go hand in glove. But when you haven't won something major for 17 years, and the scary thing for Arsenal fans, it must feel like you're still a long, long way away from doing that.
No, we are.
You know what I mean?
But that's why when you said history, that's because you've seen your team in that history. I've not seen that. I haven't seen that, so I can't really claim that, can I? You've seen United win the treble. You've seen United win the Champions League titles. You've seen United win 13 league titles. I haven't seen that, so I can't claim the titles in the 30s. I wasn't there. I might have been. I don't know.
True.
No,
Yeah,
that's such an
at least
underrated
I lived it. Yeah, you're right. At least that's what I didn't think about. At least I lived that history. That is my history as a Man United
Exactly.
fan.
So I'd rather be part of writing history right now, so I can see my team win week in week out.
Bav, do you actually remember the Invincibles?
I was 4 years old.
Yeah,
so no, I don't.
Oh man, Gal, do you remember it? Because you're only like in your mid-20s.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember it, but I didn't watch all the games back then.
Oh wow.
It's
See, that's
difficult to,
just mad, right? Me and like I've spoken to a few young Arsenal fans about this because you just naturally assume that everyone remembers the Invincibles. I spoke to an Arsenal fan not long ago. He was born in that year, like he's a young lad, like he's a family friend. He was born in the summer, so he wasn't even born when it happened. And I'm like, imagine that. What is he, like 16, 17 now? And I'm like, oh, bro, I felt so bad for him. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But great debate. Really enjoyed it. Viewers, that's where it ends. That is where it ends tonight in relation to that tiering session. A good bit of fun here on the Football Terrace on a bank holiday Monday evening. Go and enjoy yourself with your friends and family. Babs, thanks for coming back on the terrace, mate. I appreciate it. Slen, Alex, Daniel, and of course my guy, I'm Blue, Dubba Dee Dubba Die. I used to love that song when I was at school. Igal, well done for doing that, by the way, earlier on today. It was amazing. And we need to find Elite Opinions because Elite Opinions put a bet on £100 with me at the beginning of the season. Money goes to charity, not to my pocket. He said that Leipzig would win 1, if not 2, Champions Leagues or Bundesliga before Chelsea win another major trophy. He owes me £100. So let's find Elite Opinions and let's get that money and let's donate
I
it.
sent you the video. If you want to show it to people, you can show it to them.
Yeah, no, I showed it at the top of the stream, so it's out there. He definitely did it. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves.